Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the MCU. We're going to talk about Marvel. We're going to talk about Disney. We're going to talk about them slashing costs, apparently. You're going to have to walk me through this, but they're going to rely more on practical effects for Marvel going forward because the CGI is too expensive.
Yeah, so basically what's going on is we already knew they said they were going to start they were cutting, certain movies and shows, and they're trying to get costs down. Well, according to, I forget the guy's name, it's in the article later, from Marvel, he said that they're going to, Brad Winderbaum, he said he's the head of streaming television and animation. He said budget reductions have already begun. Agatha All Along and Daredevil Born Again are two examples that they're going to try to rely on practical effects. So we're not using so much VFX. You remember the VFX artists,
right.
Went on, they ended up went to unionize. And everything else because they were being overworked. We ended up with the shit show that was Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania because of it. And now they're saying, I can tell you it's our least expensive show, Agatha All Along. And I think that was by design. We're looking to make these shows for a responsible cost.
This is kind of the new motto going forward with Hollywood, isn't it? Like everybody's trying to do, make more money by spending less money, right?
But the ones that are spending less money are kicking everybody's ass because they have to be creative and they have to be good.
Look at Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3 was like a $5 million movie and it made like $18 million.
I was thinking of FNAF last year.
Same, it was like 15, 20 million. Godzilla was like 25 million.
Oh my God, Godzilla was amazing. If you haven't seen it, Godzilla -1, it's really good. But I'm just saying that we've seen this trend where these people are kicking Hollywood's ass with a small budget because they have to be creative, they have to be good. And I mean, like I know our son prefers practical effects anyway. So now they've over-relied on CGI to the place that they let stuff out that should never have been released because it looks so shitty.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Yep.
And now they're trying to walk it back moving forward. Now, it works for Agatha, it works for Daredevil, but they're talking it's going to hit the film slate too. So before we get into it any further.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Check out Clownfish Minus, clownfishminus.com. That's our non-plus club. We do have extra podcasts and stuff out there you won't find on YouTube. We also have merchandise, guys. You can buy merchandise.
Anybody can buy the merchandise. You just get a discount.
Yeah, you do get a discount. You do get a discount if you are a Plus Club member. So check that out, please. So they've been spending a lot of money. I think Hollywood just in general, they're learning the hard way that just because you throw more money at something doesn't mean it's going to get a better return. I mean,
no.
Joker 2 was a fantastic example of that. The first movie cost $60 million, made $1 billion at the box office. The sequel cost $200 million somehow.
Serious?
$200 million, and it's not even going to break even, I don't think. It's looking pretty bad.
We know Disney's walking it back because we keep hearing reports about budgets coming out. Like I think with Ant-Man, the Wasp, Quantumania, and the Marvels, they lost over $300 million. And then the budgets, they'll set it at one thing, and then that's before the photography's done and the videoing's done. And then when they send it off to the VFX, it ends up like doubling in the amount of work and money that's there. So they're trying to shift how they're doing stuff. I'm wondering if this is why the new Captain America movie coming out is like an espionage thriller. I think it's an espionage thriller because it's way cheaper. You can use practical effects and stunts. And like Daredevil Born Again, they're saying they're going to use Daredevil Born Again. Well, the Netflix Daredevil they're basing it on, thank God they're basing it on that, and they scrapped the shit show they had before. It was a lot of practical effects and stunts and stunt work. And we're going back to just like focusing on good character and story, hopefully. But back to what he was saying, he said using the practical effects gives them more freedom creatively when we can bring them in at reasonable budget, like Agatha All Along, for example. The show is minimal CG, way less than we've ever done before. It's mostly practical effects, and you can feel it in the show. Sounds bad, but Agatha All Along, though, I will say, I like it. It's not terrible. It's not too bad. Do they have some, agenda stuff in it? Yes. But is it like a bad show? No. However, that being said, is it feel like a Marvel show? No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I think the problem is that Marvel has gotten so bloated where it's almost cartoonish. I mean, you look at the first...
we saw the picture from the Ant-Man. It's definitely cartoonish.
But like you look at the first couple of Marvel movies, right? And even the first Avengers, I mean, there were a lot of effect shots in that movie, but still felt grounded in reality for the most part. But now it's like, especially when you get into all the like the space drama and stuff like that, where it's just so ridiculous to look at all the CGI that it doesn't even feel like a live action movie anymore.
I think even like, if you look at Star Wars, the original trilogy, it was based on practical effects and sets. When you got to the prequels, it was all green screens and CGI, and things did not look as good. And I think we're getting that. We're much further advanced in our VFX technology. That being said, when you have a movie and you have deadlines and you're changing things and you're not going to have time to fix it, there's only so much you can do before the movie has to come out.
Yeah.
And that's how we end up with, some of the crap that's gotten through.
Yeah.
Plus they overworked these people when they had to unionize.
Yeah, it showed. I mean, you could kind of see the decline, like as the movies got more and more ambitious, you could see the decline in the TLC. Because I don't think they gave a shit anymore. They said a lot of times what would happen is, these people, since they didn't do this work themselves, they did not realize how much time it took.
Right.
So they'd come in at like Friday and be like, hey, Monday, could you render that whole space battle for us again?
Yeah, basically. And these guys are like, we can't do it.
It's not possible.
And they also said that, they're doing it with Daredevil. They said the future slate of 2026 and 2027. So I'm assuming TV and films.
Yeah.
They're trying to look at, that would make sense kind of for the X-Men, because they seem like they're not X-Men, Fantastic Four. They seem like they're doing a retro, and they're probably doing it retro because it's less, you can do it more with practical effects.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just saying, I just know that we saw budgets that are ballooning, and then the movies bomb at the box office, and they're not losing, they don't even make their money back from filming. And then beyond that, they're in the hole even more because they spent so much money on these things. I mean, another, it's not Marvel, but Snow White, that thing, because they had to reshoot so much, by the time it's got to make $1 billion just to break even the way it's been going. And a lot of these movies are going that way with Marvel because they spend so much money trying to fix everything in post or add everything in post that they're just, you'd have to make so much money to make your money back. And even when you make that money back, you look like you're not making anywhere near as much money as another film who kicked your ass with like a way smaller budget.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, as a movie exec, it's like, you have to, like, how do you answer for that? Like, hey, I know I made a case for us spending, $200-300 million on this movie, and we just got our ass kicked by a $50 million movie.
Exactly.
Trust me, bro, next time it's gonna be different. And they've had too many misfires. I mean, Marvel's lost how much money?
People just are tired of it. They're over Marvel. They're just like, they you know what to expect, and you're kind of like rolling your eyes, like, here we go again. It is what it is. But you can get away with like more practical effects for shows like Agatha All Along or Daredevil. Definitely would be one that you could use practical effects. But I don't know how much you're going to be able to push this for X-Men and things like that, So we'll see how this goes.
We'll see how it goes. I hope that we don't cheap out and we go back to the 90s where we had cheesy looking comic book adaptations.
Go that far,
but there needs to be a balance, I think, and I think we'll see more street level heroes, and then they'll save the outer space stuff for the Secret Wars.
Yeah, that's the only downside is the fact that they train people to expect so much, and if they walk it back, people might be like, like Agatha All Along, for example. You're watching it like this is a Marvel show. This isn't like a Marvel show because it doesn't feel like a Marvel show. I mean, the second half, I think they're going to tie it into Marvel more, but to this point, it doesn't seem like one.
So there we go, guys. We're going to wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.